Jayo Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari
जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी
Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Jayo Girivarodhari Jayo Girivarodhari
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरवरधारी जय
Yashoda Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana
नंदन ब्रज जन रंजन
Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada
जय प्रभु पदाय प्रभु पदाय प्रभु पदाय शिल प्रभु पदाय
Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev
जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव
Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us for this morning Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam class. Without further ado, I'll just say pranams and we'll continue from there. Narayana Namaskritam Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Udirayat Nasta Prayashu Abhideshu Nityam Bhagavatam Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtike Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshur Umlitam Yena Tashmai Shri Gurube Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Shwaha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostude Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavanishware Vrishabhanu Suta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Shri Vancha Kalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyavacha Potitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Shiva Shati Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
Om
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Namo Bhagavate
वासुदेवाय
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
ओम नमो भगवते
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Uh, sorry, I think I'll have to share today. Can everyone see the screen?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
Alrighty. So what I did was, it's a little bit of a difficult verse, so I broke it up into three different stanzas, so to say. So I'll say the first stanza, and then you'll repeat, and so forth like that. Otherwise, we can do word for word only. So,
Yes.
and there's
Okay.
no rhythm for this stanza as well. Not that okay. Atanavapi na bhavata ijo yayoru.
आथनापि न भवता योरुबारबरया
Atanayati na bhavata ij yayoro.
आथनायापि न
Atana
भवता
Pina Bhavata
योरुबारबरया
Jayoru.
Atanayati na bhavata ij yayoro.
Athanayapina Ijyayorubharabhaya
Bara shamachitam.
Varya
Bharaya samuchitam
Arthamihopalavamami
Bara shamachitam.
Varya Samuchitam
Samuchitam
Bara shamochitam.
Bharaya
Samuchitam
samuchitam
Artam ito pala bamahe.
Artamiho
Arthamihopalavamami
palabhamahe
Artam iho pala bamahe.
Artamiho palabhamahe
Artam iho pala bamahe.
Artamiho palabhamahe
Prabhu's Mataji's Vaishnavas.
Athanyapina Bhavata
Arthanyapi
Nahitam
bhavata
bhavata.
Ijayo Yorubharya
Ijo
Ijjayo
yo
bhara
yo
bharaya
bharava.
Samuchitam Artham
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 Ihopalabhamahe
iho
ito yo
palabhamahe
bharavahe.
अथानयापि न भवत
Anyapi na
Bhavata
bhavata
इज्ययोरुभारभरया
Ijjayo
Yorubharya
bharaya
समुचित समुचितमर्थम् इहोपलभामहे
Samuchitam
Artham
Artham
समुचितमर्थम्
iho
इहोपलभामहे
Ihopalabhamahe
हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna. Atha,
अथ
Atha
otherwise.
otherwise
otherwise
Anaya,
अनया
Anaya
this.
this
this
Api,
api
अपि
Api
even.
even
even
Na,
na
न
Na
not.
not
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 Bhavataha,
bhavata
भवतः
of your exalted personality.
of your
of
of
your
your
exalted
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 personality.
personality
Each yaya,
Ijjaya
Ijjaya
Ijjayaha
the performances of sacrifice.
the
for
performances
performance
performance
of
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 sacrifice
sacrifice
sacrifice.
Urub baraya,
Uru
Bara
Urubharabharaya
bharaya
Baraya
encumbered by much paraphernalia.
encumbered
encumbered
by much
by
by much
much
paraphernalia
paraphernalia
paraphernalia.
Samuchitam,
समुचितं
samuchitam
Samuchitam
required.
required
required
Atam,
अथम
artham
Artham
use.
use
Iha,
इह
ya
ye.
ye
ये
Here
here
yeah
Upalabhamahe,
उपलब्धामहे
Upalabhamahe
upalabhamahe
we can see.
we
we
can
can
see
see
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. We have engaged
we are engaged
we have engaged
in your worship
in
in
your
your
worship
worship
with many things
with
with
many
many
of
things
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 and have offered sacrifice
and have
and
and
have
have
offered
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 sacrifice
sacrifices
sacrifice
unto you.
unto you
unto
unto
you.
you.
But we think
but we
We
think
But we
think
think
that there is no need
that
there
there
there is
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 no
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 need
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 for so many arrangements
for
for
so
so
many
for
many
so many
arrangements
arrangements
to
arrangements
please your lordships.
to
to
please your
please
for your
lordship.
lordship.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Just a second. Sri Rupa Goswami says that if one is offered varied foods but have no appetite, the offering has no value. In a big sacrifice ceremony, there may be many things accumulated to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But if there is no devotion, attachment, or love for the Lord, the arrangements is useless. The Lord is complete in himself, and he does not need anything from us. However, if we offer him a little water, a flower, and a tulsi leaf, he will accept it. Bhakti, devotional service, is the main way to satisfy the supreme personality of Godhead. It is not a question of arranging huge sacrifices. The priests were regretful, thinking that they were not on a path of devotional service and that their sacrifice was not pleasing to the Lord. We have engaged in your worship with many things and have offered sacrifice unto you, but we think that there is no need for so many arrangements to please your lordships. Okay. So this morning Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam class is a very nice one, as all of them are usually. This covers actually quite a big array of devotional services and quite a few subject matters. So today, instead of choosing one, I thought I'll go through a lot. So there might be a lot of subject matters that I might cover today, purely because there's a lot mentioned in this verse, and I thought it'd be nice to honor them all. So pay attention. So firstly, bhakti alone pleases the Lord, right? So we're reflecting here on King Nabi's sacrifice, which is, of course, this is covered in entire Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 5:3. So the priest of King Nabi, so basically the history is the priest of King Nabi, after performing an extraordinary good sacrifice, superb. I mean, you can't imagine the kind of extent and pomp and the magnitude of the service that they performed. After offering all the services, and when they saw the Lord, and they had a profound realization when Lord Vishnu personally appeared before them, mounted on Garuda, right? Although every external arrangement has been made with great opulence, they humbly reflected, right? We have engaged in your worship with many things. They say, we have engaged in your worship with many things and have offered sacrifice unto you, but we think there is no need for so many arrangements to please your lordship. So the Lord is so grand, right? He's so grand. He is the proprietor of the whole universe. All the wealth in the three worlds belong to him. So what can we possibly offer him that will rise up to the stature of the Supreme Lord? Whatever we offer to the Lord is paltry, is insignificant to the Lord, right? It's nothing. Even if you use all the wealth, every single drop of gold, all the wealth in the third planet to worship the Lord, even that as well doesn't compare to the greatness of the Lord. But the Lord, he doesn't ask for much, so therefore this verse covers that very nicely. This reveals one of the most essential truths of the devotional service. It is not grandeur that attracts Krishna, it is devotion. It is not grandeur that attracts Krishna, it is devotion. So in this verse, Srila Rupa Goswami explains that if one offers many varieties of foods to a person who has no appetite, the offering has little meaning. Similarly, the Supreme Lord is Atmaram. The Supreme Lord is Atmaram, fully self-satisfied, complete within himself. He is also known as Purna, complete in himself, right? He has no need for anything we possess because everything already belongs to him. Everything already belongs to him. So what can we offer him that will exceed his expectations? There's nothing that we can offer the Supreme Lord. There's nobody can offer the Supreme Lord anything that can exceed his own qualities, except one person. And that is covered very nicely in Sikshastikam. That is Radharani. So whatever the Lord has in great abundance, Radharani has in greater abundance. And the Lord appreciates that very much in one of the verses, but that's for another class, right? Yet Krishna declares, Patram Pushpam Palam Tayam Yomi Bhakti Prayajate. Now, such a fantastic verse, right? Only once is this Supreme Lord. There's a proprietor of the entire three worlds. There's nothing that doesn't belong to him. Everything that you are, everything that you have, everything that you possess, every quality that you have belongs to him. And that is the same for every single person on this universe, on this planet, in this universe, in the entire creation. Everything is, we're just loading it from him. So as a divine father, he's allowing us to use his resources. So there's nothing, even if you offer any resource to the Lord is a proprietor of that resource, right? Without devotion, even the grandest arrangement is useless, right? So with devotion, even the simplest offering becomes irresistible to the Lord. Even you pick up a leaf, a piece of grass, An insignificant piece of grass, it said earlier on that even freshly grown grass, it has so much value to the Lord. The Lord appreciates it. Now, if I go break a piece of grass and I come give you, I say, Prabhu, I was thinking about you. Here's a little gift I got to give you. It'll be more of an insult than appreciation. Okay, your little 2-year-old might bring it and come to you. You look at it 2 seconds and you throw it away, and you'll appreciate the sentiment. But the Supreme Lord, if we offer him, freshly grown grass, right? And therefore it says that grass is so insignificant that even Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, more humbler than a blade of grass. There's nothing more humbler than a blade of grass. That means nothing more insignificant than a blade of grass. But even that as well has so much value to the Supreme Lord. Can you imagine, somebody who possesses everything? Now imagine if you go to Elon Musk and you tell him, my dear friend, you're such a good friend of mine, I have to reciprocate with you. For somebody who just made $250 million in one day, here's a piece of grass for you. What will he do? He'll ask his security guard to throw you out from there. But this Supreme Lord will embrace you if you give him even the most insignificant of things. So this verse is really phenomenal. It teaches us, firstly, the grandeur of the Lord and our insignificance. So these priests were feeling extraordinary because despite personally witnessing the Lord's appearance, they did not think, right? So remember, these priests are so great. They are so great Vaishnavas that even though the Supreme Lord, the Lord of all opulences, was in front of them, right? They did not think, we are so qualified, we have pleased the Lord that the Lord came. That's not the mood. You saw that they never thought that for 1 second. Rather they thought, we have not served you properly. We have insufficient devotion. There's nothing we can do, but my dear Lord, you are so great, you have accepted it. This is the nature of genuine devotion. And it stems from humility. Real devotion stems from humility, right? The Lord had certainly become pleased. Otherwise, why would the Lord have come? Why would the Lord have appeared if he was not pleased? Yes, he was extremely pleased by their service. And that's because of the humility, the devotion, and with the service that they offered, the Lord appeared before them. When they last did you hear that we did a yagya, you did a sacrifice, that the Lord appeared in front of us. So you can imagine the grandeur and how well that service was provided, that the Lord himself appeared before them, right? So this contrasts sharply between immature and spiritual thinking, right? This contrasts sharply between immature and spiritual thinking. Now, immature thinking, I am so sincere, I am serving so much. Why has the Lord has not done this to me? We'll think, I've done so much, I've been serving, I got up from 4 o'clock in the morning, I did arti, I did chanting, I did this, I did so many things, and we feel proud, right? So the evolution, the progress of a devotee. So the next thing brings about is the evolution or the progress of a devotee from pride to genuine humility, One revealing symptom of spiritual advancement is our devotee sees himself. It's not important how everyone else sees us, right? It's how important we see ourselves. We are not, our merit of spiritual life, our seniority of spiritual life is not how we behave in public and how everybody should see us, how socially we accepted. Our seniority in spiritual life is how we behave when we are alone in our own room. What we do, what we see, what we think, how we behave, that is the benchmark of our seniority of spiritual life. Not how we seen when we got tilak on in front of the deities in the temple, in front of all the Vaishnavas, and then we move with great, like synchronized way in front of the Lord, or we sing very sweetly, or we cook the simple. That's not the benchmark of our devotion. Our devotion is when we are alone in the quiet hours of the night. What we're thinking about, what we're doing, how we engage in service. That is the level of our devotional service. And I know for a fact, it's basically not even breaking the service in my situation, right? So am I doing this service? So then the devotee thinks, am I a great devotee? So then the immature devotee will think am I a great devotee? Am I sincere? Am I serving so much? Surely I'm advanced. So these devotees thinking, I am a great devotee. I'm a sincere devotee. I'm serving so much. So surely I'm a great and advanced devotee. So this is the initial stages of spiritual life. In the cleansing stages, when we are new bhaktas, we start thinking like that, right? I am doing this service and I'm doing that service and that person is doing nothing. That's how we think. I mean, we all were there initially. We all thought like that, right? A precarious stage in devotional life begins when subtle pride quietly enters service, right? Subtle pride. Oh, today I fasted. I fasted today for Ekadashi, right? And I go tell everyone, oh, I dry fasted today. I dry fasted today. So while we fasted from grain, we feasted on our pride. We feasted on our ego. So we should be very mindful that when we offer these fastings, these services, these devotions to the Lord, it should be a very private thing, right? Because if we're not private, then we're tapping into pride, into egoism and stuff like that. So whenever we offer many, many services, we might chant extra rounds, might get up early, might do so many services to the Lord. The moment we start talking about it, then pride starts creeping in through that little hole. So we should be very mindful. And then one begins to think, oh, I'm doing the service. I am doing the service. I'm the doer of the service. And that person is doing nothing. Then the mentality deepens. My service is indispensable. No one can do the service better than me. Without me, everything will fall apart. Now, I'm talking about myself over here. I know I'm speaking with the self, from my own experience. And at that point, devotion slowly becomes contaminated, right? As we start thinking like that, devotion slowly becomes contaminated. One may begin subtle criticism of other devotees, even those who have dedicated their entire lives to the service of the Lord. I do not see what the service they do. Therefore, they must not be doing much. So this is me. This is how I think, right? So this is a reflection of my mind. Or worse, my service is more important than theirs. We forget that devotional service is not a competition for recognition, right? The moment we begin minimizing other devotees' service, Maya quietly enters. And I see that in my own life. I'm a very arrogant person, and I don't see anything good from anyone else. And I can see that this is my greatest downfall, right? Now, let me give you some examples from Shastra of devotees who thought like that, and then later on we saw what happened to them. First example we saw in the last canto, Daksha Prajapati. His pride while serving the Lord. So he walked out in the assembly and he was more effulgent. It says he was more effulgent than Agni, fire. He was more effulgent than the personality of Agni, the personality of fire. That's how effulgent he was. And everybody rose because of his grandeur, because he's Prajapati, and because of his seniority, and because he was so effulgent and his beauty was so great, except Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. And seeing Lord Shiva not standing to receive him, Daksha became offended and began criticizing one of the greatest Vaishnava, Vaishnavana Midaya Shambho. And that was Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 4. The next example, I won't go in details. Each of these examples would require quite a bit of detail. An entire class has been spoken in each of these, and we have. But I've just covered it very lightly, so we bring out the essence of the verse that we're speaking today. The next one is Indra thinking himself indispensable. Indra thought, because I'm providing rain, everyone depends on me. And because he began identifying himself with this service, I am important, I am necessary, I must be honored, I must be worshipped. And that was from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, 25, and 27. And then we saw what happened. The Lord crushed his ego. The next one was know about Lord Brahma testing Lord Krishna. After witnessing Krishna's inconceivable powers, Brahma became ashamed, right? And he prayed after stealing the cows. We know the pastime. And what did he pray? Ahom bhagyam aho bhayam nanda gopa vijo kora kosham. How fortunate are these residents of Vrindavan? The highest beings become great when humility awakens. The highest beings, the greatest personalities, the great personalities, senior personalities. What do we appreciate about our spiritual masters? How humble they are. How submissive. They're so great. They accomplish so many things, but it never goes to their head, right? So that is why we fall to their feet, because they always fall into the feet of Srila Prabhupada and their spiritual masters. That was in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 10, 14, 32, the pastimes of Lord Brahma. Then we saw in Durvasha Muni, Durvasha Muni is a very powerful character. He possesses extraordinary mystic powers and immense austerity. Yet when he offered Maharaj Ambrisha, right, we understand what happened. We know the story. Now we understand the position of a pure devotee. Now this also covers the position of pure. Despite all mystic power, he could not protect himself. No matter how powerful he was a representation, a manifestation of Lord Shiva, but he could not protect himself, right? Lord Vishnu even declared, Aham Bhakta Paradino. Yeah, Aham Bhakta Paradino. is I am completely dependent on my devotees. I am completely dependent on devotees. The Rasha had spiritual powers but lacked proper appreciation for bhakti. That was Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 9.463, if anyone wants to delve into it. Then we see very clearly in Srila Prabhupada's teachings, the pure devotee never thinks, I am doing so much for Krishna. Prabhupada he exhibited this by his own example. He says, Krishna has mercifully allowed me, an unqualified soul like me, to engage in service. Right? Prabhupada never once thought, I am doing this. I am so great. I am so wonderful. If at all, he glorified his Guru Maharaj for his accomplishments. And he says, Krishna has mercifully allowed me, an unqualified soul like me, to engage in service. Service is never our gift to Krishna. When we offer something to Krishna, it's not, I'm offering this to you, Krishna. I'm offering a flower to you. I'm offering the fruit to you. It's never it's not a gift that we are giving Krishna. Although it is, but definitely from our perspective, from our mentality, service is never our gift to Krishna. Service is Krishna's mercy unto us. When we do service to the Lord, it's Krishna's mercy unto us. Krishna does not need our service, right? We need the purification that comes from serving. So when we serve the Lord, purification comes. Whether we're fasting for Kartik, performing Rat for Purushottam, whether we're doing Ekadashi, Krishna doesn't need any of this. We need the purification that comes from those services. And when we get purified sufficiently, then we can delve into the eternal pastimes of the Lord. And that's our own appreciation. Right? The next example I'll give you is Hanuman and the squirrel. Right? Service is not measured. Right? Service is not measured by heart, not by size. Service is measured by heart, not by size. Then we saw that example in Hanuman and the squirrel, right? During Lord Ramachandra's pastimes, where these mighty Varanas, these mighty Varanas, they were bringing great, enormous mountains, huge boulders, massive trees, and to assist the Lord in building the bridge. Among them, a tiny squirrel. Also, what he did was he brought little pebbles, or he rubbed himself on the sand, and he came and he shrugged himself on the sea, and little bits of dust used to fall on the bridge. Right? The squirrel would run to the shore, roll himself in sand, so grains that would stick to his body, then run onto the bridge and shake off the grains in an attempt to help the Lord. Right? From an external perspective, its contribution appears insignificant, right? Remember, it's nothing. What's one grain of sand? It's not even worth it. But Hanuman, right? Hanuman and the powerful Varanas were moving mountains. They were chopping the whole mountains, the entire mountains. They were moving and they were bringing coming. So what difference is this little tiny speck of dust make? Yet Lord Ramachandra personally noticed the squirrel's effort, non-different from Hanuman's effort, non-different, right? He lovingly picked up the squirrel, and the Lord gently he appreciated the squirrel. I read somewhere that even like if you look at the squirrel, it's got that strap on the back. It's because of Lord Ramachandra, he was caressing the squirrel. Well, that's different things to say, but nevertheless, because the Lord was not measuring service by quantity. He measures service by devotion. Whether it's a leaf, a little flower, a little drop of water, who cannot afford to give that to the Lord? So Lord doesn't think, oh, I've done mammoth, Herculean task, so therefore you can get 10. You that brought one little flower, you'll get one. Lord doesn't measure service like that. But Lord, like I remember once I was seeing Tamakrishna Maharaj was saying, the Lord is not an ungrateful Lord. He doesn't see in this lifetime you gave 50%, so you still got 50% to go. But if the devotion is dwelling in your heart, the Lord will carry what you lack at the end of this life. If you have whatever you gave, the Lord doesn't see what you didn't give. At the end of this life, Srila Prabhupada will bridge the gap, and the Lord will carry whatever you lack over that bridge. So I remember Tamakrishna Maharaj gave a very nice class on that. So the lesson is profound. The lesson is, but Krishna never measures service the way conditioned souls do it. Right? So then, but the Lord sees bhava, the internal devotion. The Lord sees in your heart. Whether you're sitting and doing nothing and meditating the whole day, and if you're in doing devotion, the Lord sees it more than somebody who's doing Herculean task. But I wonder if everyone's appreciating my service. I wonder if appreciating how much I can do. Oh, wow, I'm so great in my service. He's doing Herculean tasks, superb, what nobody else can do. But in his heart, if he has got some little bit of me consciousness, then that's what the Lord. The squirrel teaches us never to minimize other devotees' service simply because it appears small within our own limited vision. Haribol, can somebody please mute yourself? Yes, and Hanuman teaches us true greatness means recognizing and honoring service offered by others. As Krishna declares, Patram Pushpam Palam Tuyam Yomi Bhakti Prayajate, it's in Bhagavad Gita 9:26. A leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water is offered with devotion, I will accept it. And remember, is this repetition, like two things, this verse about offering fruit and water has been done now, I think yesterday's verse and the day before's verse has been, so there we see the extent of it. Secondly, in that verse, we see the word bhakti mentioned twice. So that will show you how important the bhakti. Bhakti is a significant part of that verse, right? So bhakti is a very significant part. So without bhakti, everything is 0, 0, 0, 0. Right? The devotee who thinks my service is greater than yours has already forgotten the essential bhakti, the essence of bhakti. If anyone thinks my service is better than yours, they've forgotten the essence of bhakti. Because in the eyes of the Lord, not all service is measured by size. All activities are carried out by material nature, but one bewildered by false ego thinks, I am the doer. That's Bhagavad Gita 3:27. All activities are carried out by material nature, but one bewildered by false ego thinks, I am the doer, right? So this is one of the most dangerous forms of illusion. Externally, we appear engaged in service. Internally, false ego begins to grow in our heart, right? Because the truth is simple. Krishna does not need any of us. We need the opportunity to serve him. Service is not our gift to Krishna. Service is Krishna's mercy upon us. The day we think I am indispensable, Maya has already begun entering the heart. The pure devotee never thinks, I am doing so much for Krishna. He thinks only, Krishna has kindly allowed me to render some insignificant service, though I am not qualified. So as a devotee progresses, somewhat the pride becomes subtler, right? So then the next stage of devotional service, we'll see the devotee's mood will think, not only I am so great now, my Guru Maharaj is the greatest, and because I belong to him, we are the best devotees. So that's the next stage of bhakti. So my Guru Maharaj did a big seminar on this. So if anybody wants to know more about it, please feel free, right? So there is advancement, but traces of false ego still remains, right? The advanced devotee thinks, everyone in this world is serving Krishna better. So as one becomes more advanced, then one thinks that I am the greatest and my Guru Maharaj is the greatest, right? But then if you look, as we progress in Krishna consciousness and we clear out all his anarthas and then we started performing nice devotional service, we do not remember, we do not calculate how well and how advanced we become. You know, when the chanting, as we've been chanting more, we think, oh my God, our chanting is so bad. I can't concentrate. You know, I'm struggling in my chanting. But that is a sign of advancement, actually. Funny enough, you know, the conundrum is the more you feel insignificant, the more you feel how bad you are doing, the more advanced you're becoming. And the good example is here right now with these priests, right? With these priests of King Navi, even he was feeling so bad that he called the Lord for some material benefit. Although it was a tinge of spirituality, but still because he had his own desire, you know, so it's considered to be a material desire. This is the symptoms of spiritual maturity. When Lord Vishnu appears before King Nabi and the priest after their grand sacrifice, you know, they did not think we have performed perfectly. The Lord has appeared because of our qualification. Instead, they lamented, we have made so many elaborate arrangements, but we do not even possess devotion sufficient to please you. This is the nature of genuine bhakti. The immature devotee advises his qualification. Right? An immature devotee advertises his qualification. Right? The advanced devotee becomes increasingly aware of his disqualification. So, of course, we know Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Tranarapi Sunichana, Rorapi Saishnana, Amanina Manadina Kirtanya Sadare. So one should think oneself lower than a blade of grass, more tolerant than a tree, expecting no honor, but giving all respects unto others. So another example in respect to that, where devotees thought themselves insignificant while were greatly advanced devotee, the first example I got to think about is Bilva Mangala Thakur, right? Bilva Mangala Thakur was an exalted, very exalted Rashik Vaishnava, a very exalted Rashik Vaishnava, right? A good devotee. And he expressed his extraordinary humility in, I think it's called Krishna Karanamrita, right? Although spiritually exalted beyond ordinary comprehension, his mood is essentially the whole world appears absorbed in Krishna, but somehow I alone remain deprived of devotion. Bilva Mangala Thakur, great Vaishnava, the Lord came and held his hand, played games with him, right? And he thinks, oh, the whole world became great devotees, but I remain deprived of any devotion, right? The more one approaches Krishna, the less one sees his own greatness, right? So the more we approach Krishna, the less we see how great we are. The nearer one comes to pure bhakti, the more one sees only the greatness of others, right? So then when we use that as a benchmark, I myself can say how far I am from even a drop of bhakti, right? The next example is Satyavrata Muni, right? Damodarashtika, right? He declares, I think in the third verse, I repeatedly offer obeisances unto the Lord, who is conquered only by his devotees through pure love. And he says, I don't want anything. I don't want this. I don't want that. I don't want this Navada Bhakti. I don't want the process of Bhakti. I don't want anything else. All I want is for you to take shelter in my heart, right? So we notice the mood. The Lord, whom yogis cannot understand, whom jnanis cannot attain, whom devas, the demigods, worship with reverence, because becomes conquered by simple devotion. Even the yogis cannot conquer him. They cannot achieve him, right? They cannot even understand him. Even the demigods worship him. But that same Supreme Lord becomes conquered by simple devotion. Not by qualification, not by scholarship, not by greatness, only by bhakti. The Lord is conquered by bhakti. And that is why that is such a rare commodity that is not easily distributed. You have to really, really prove that you deserve it. And then bhakti will come to you. And who gives you bhakti? Krishna cannot give you bhakti. Bhakti begets bhakti. You have to get bhakti from somebody who has bhakti. And then comes all the great Vaishnavas. You have to get it from the great Vaishnavas, from Radharani, from Balaram, from spiritual master, right? They possess bhakti. They can give you bhakti. From the Vaishnavas, from Ekadashi, the personality of Ekadashi, the personality of fasting days, right? So that's in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. We spoke about that from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So the devotees, like the next example was, of course, Uddhava. Uddhava desired to become the dust, to desire the dust of the gopis, right? So he prayed to become a Kripa in Vrindavan. Uddhava, which Krishna's intimate associate, highly learned devotee. Everything about Krishna, he looked like Krishna. He used all Krishna's mark clothes. There was no difference between him. In fact, when he was approaching Vrindavan, everyone thought Krishna was coming. In Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 10:47-61, he says, Aham aho charana renu chasham aham shvayam. Let me, and Uddhava said, let me become a blade of grass in Vrindavan, so I may receive the dust of the gopis' feet. Again, true advancement means seeing others as spiritually superior. So the great paradox of bhakti, right? The great paradox of bhakti. Thus the progression is, the immature devotee thinks, I am the best devotee. A somewhat advanced devotee thinks, my guru and my spiritual family are the greatest. Then a truly advanced devotee thinks, everyone in this whole world, everyone in this world as devotion for Krishna. Only I remain bereft of that devotion. Mahaprabhu himself expressed, Na prema gahosti daropi me haro. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 2:45. I do not possess even the fragrance of love for Krishna. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He says, I do not even possess even the fragrance of love for Krishna. This is the mystery of bhakti. The more devotion grows, the less one sees himself as a devotee. Because bhakti never grows in the soil of pride. Bhakti never grows in a soil of pride. It flourishes only when genuine humility appears. So when will humility appear in my heart? I beg all the devotees to bless me that I may become humble. As King Nabi and the priests demonstrated, grand arrangements may impress the world, but only devotion mixed with humility captures the heart of the Lord. Then true devotion speaks differently. As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches, right? My Lord, place me under your feet and crush me if you wish. Do whatever you want. Ashlishava padam ratam pinashtumam. Right? But the devotee thinks, I have already done so much, but other devotees may think, I have done so much for me. What can I possibly do to repay you? Other devotees think, my dear Lord, for me, you have done so much. What can I possibly do to repay you? All right? So then the question is then if you're talking about that, why perform external practices if love is what matters? So we might think, okay, if Krishna wants my bhakti, then why should I offer anything to the Lord? Now that brings up, I heard of this one story in one Bhagavatam class once. What happened is this one person made a vow to Kali that, my dear Kali, if I attain a certain thing that I want, I will give you, two cows. So what happened is some or the other he achieved the desire of his vow, and then he's thinking, oh, all right, if I give the 2 cows, then I'm not left with much. So he went to the Lord and said, I can't afford to give you the 2 cows. I appreciate you gave it to me, but I can't afford to give you the cow. The Lord said, okay, give me 2 sheep. Kali said, give me 2 sheep. So he came back and said, my dear Kali, you know what? I tried, but I got involved with my kids' stuff and I can't give you the 2 sheep. Then Kali said, all right. Give me 2, 2 flies. Just 2 flies. Give me 2 flies. He said, oh dear Kali, is that all you want? See how many flies are flying around you. Just stick your tongue out and grab as many as you want. So that is the mood of the devotee, of people who have, they have Nishta Karma devotees. Now, another one story I heard about Kali that might bring the point home is that a person went and he said, my dear Kali, I'm taking this gamble, and if I win $100,000, I'll give you $50,000. Well, maybe 100,000 rupees. If I win 100,000 rupees, my dear Kali, I'll give you 50,000 rupees. So be it. He came out second and he won 50,000 rupees. So he went to Kali and he said, oh, my dear Kali, you're so smart. You didn't trust me. You took your 50,000 and then you gave me the other 50,000. So you see, our business is like that, He sent Kali and said, no, you already took your 50,000 now. So I can't, you didn't trust me. So you only gave me my 50,000. So this is how the one bargains with the Lord, like that, So grand service is not for Krishna's benefit again, right? So the next one we see, the grandeur is not for our purification, but for the Lord's necessity, right? But for the Lord's necessity, right? So Vedic bhakti leads to bhava. Regulated devotional service, Vedic bhakti, is not mechanical ritualism. Proper practice, Vedic bhakti, is pregnated with bhava bhakti. So by performing Vedic bhakti will give us bhava bhakti. Actually, I'm running short of time, but I wanted to go into that in big detail. But I think because of time is short, we started late today. I'm going to leave this for next class, because it's a very nice subject matter. How Vedic bhakti, how by us in Rupa Nuga Bhaktas, in line of Srila Prabhupada, in line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gauriya Vaishnava Sampradaya, how by performing Vedic bhakti, we delve into the Raghunuga Bhakti. But I'll say that at another time. So let me see. So from that, we see ruchi, taste awakens when discipline is practiced, right? So taste for the spiritual Lord, we have to follow some kind of a discipline, right? The Goswamis themselves externally performed all aspects of regulated devotion. They counted rounds carefully. They executed the scriptures. They strictly followed sadhana. Thus, bhakti measures systematically. So by performing Vedic bhakti, now when you count something, when you like, for instance, we chant 16 rounds, we're counting it. That's Vedic bhakti. Raghunuga bhakti, there's when you count something, where there is love, right? There's no rules and regulations. Where there's rules and regulations, there's no love. So we have to perform rules and regulations, so purify ourselves, so we can go into the stage of pure love, pure bhakti, and then we can serve the Lord. Then there's no rules and regulations. Rules and regulation becomes secondary, right? So why do we do that? So like, I'll give you a good example. Is that, see, how we can understand that is, So a person who wants to learn to play the keyboard or any musical instrument. So we'll take the keyboard, for instance. So he will learn do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So he'll learn so do, re, mi, fa, or things like that, And he practiced do, re, mi, fa, like that. Or, sa, re, ga, ma, that in English. So you'll learn all these. So why is he learning that? Is that the ultimate? No. He learned that as a rule and regulation so that he can forget that and then he can play music. Because when one is playing music, one does not remember this is do, re, mi, fa, sa, re, ga, ma, fa. He doesn't remember those things. He remembers, okay, this is E, B, C, and then he plays music. And when he starts playing music, he doesn't remember A, B, C, D, or he doesn't remember do, re, mi, fa. He plays music. So similarly, when we do Vedic Bhakti, we practice Vedic Bhakti so that ultimately we may forget Vedic Bhakti. And when it becomes spontaneously, we will perform Raganuga Bhakti. But we cannot dive into Raganuga Bhakti without performing Vedic Bhakti, because then that's becomes Sajayasm. So Bhakti gives value to everything else, right? Without Bhakti, all accomplishments are simply zeros. Bhakti is the number placed before those zeros, giving everything value. So we can offer fruit, flower, leaf, everything. But if you have no bhakti in the front, the Lord sees as insignificant. Now, if I have time, I'll go on some of the examples how that has happened. So purification through service. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam compares bhakti life to gold placed in a fire, right? So Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam compares devotion life to gold placed in a fire. Just as gold loses impurities when eaten, similarly, the devotee engaged in bhakti gradually has impurities burnt away. The senses themselves are not the problem. The problem is misuse of the senses, right? When senses are engaged in Krishna's service, the same senses become purified. And using the same service, we serve the Lord. So intelligence disconnected from Krishna loses its potency. If we use our intelligence that is not connected to Krishna, it loses its Shakti. Real intelligence means using everything in relation to Krishna. So bhakti requires shelter of Guru. Bhakti is never independent, right? One enters the house of bhakti through the doorway of Guru. One enters the house of bhakti through the doorway of Guru. If one is not connected to our Guru Parampara and formally connected to our Guru Parampara, then one will be like Ekalavya, right? Remember the story of Ekalavya? He was connected to Dronacharya, but he wasn't formally connected to Dronacharya. So that the example of Ekalavya and Dronacharya demonstrates that imitation without authorized shelter is not true spiritual advancement. Just as an apprentice mechanic performs expertly and his work is accepted. If you go to a garage, you take your car there, they've got 4 apprentices working under a qualified person, right? And the work is accepted as compliant only while working under the guidance of that expert mechanic. Even though people that are studying, people that are just apprentices, when they give you the keys back in your hand, you can expect that it is expert, that the work is done in an expert mannerism, even though it was done by a trainee, by a student, because it was guided by an expert, qualified individual. Similarly, service becomes perfect only under Guru's direction. That is the value of Guru. So association means attachment. Sangha means more than proximity. And that doesn't mean because you're close to somebody that you got association. Prabhupada always said, devotees, go out in the world and preach. So he didn't advise anyone to be close to him. He says, lice may be close in my head. Lice may be close in my head, but it doesn't mean that they're close to me. You might be halfway across the world, but you are close to my heart. So, Sangha does not mean close in proximity to the individual. Real friendship does not mean I make you comfortable and you make me comfortable and together we both go to hell. That is not real friendship. True association elevates consciousness. Real friendship helps direct consciousness towards Krishna. Even slight association with genuine devotees brings immeasurable benefit. Even an insignificant association bring immeasurable significant benefit. So Bhagavatam states, who has ever become free from Maya without serving the lotus feet of the devotee of the Lord? Even slight association defeats Maya. Maya is a parijata, is conquered Maya is parijat, is conquered by the association of a Vaishnava, right? So insufficient faith comes from insufficient Shakti. Faith is not accidental. Generally, weak faith often reflects insufficient accumulated spiritual merits. So we need some kind of sukriti to get faith. And from faith, bhakti will come. So without some kind of sukriti, you must have done some, either sukriti created by yourself or the sukriti passed on to us by Guru and great Vaishnavas. Even that as well. So if we go and bow down to a great Vaishnava, they will pass on some sukriti, some positive benefit to us. Even though we might say Sukriti is a material thing, but without that material Sukriti, we don't have any hope in hell to get Krishna consciousness. We have to have some kind of fertileness in our heart that comes from some pious activities that we did, or somebody who benefited us by doing it, that we start going on the path of spiritual life. So don't discredit Sukriti as being Maya. Oh, Prabhu, you performing, Sukriti, some pious activities, so you want some material benefit. Yes, it can set you on the path to material benefit, but Sukriti is necessary to start you on the path of spiritual life as well, right? So that's when it's a Sukriti mixed with direction from Guru will take you on the right path. If you have Sukriti without Guru's direction, then you will go on the wrong path. So direction is very important, right? So simply receiving the opportunity to hear Hari Katha, it itself is tremendous fortune. Listen to Bhagavatam class every day. You cannot imagine the immense benefit that we get. We should never take hearing for granted, right? This opportunity builds momentum towards returning home. So bhakti is tested. The path of surrender is never easy. The good examples, so big examples on these would be Prahlad Maharaj was tortured, right? Great devotees undergo severe obstacles. Even impediments come. Love becomes, when impediments comes on the path, then love is proven, right? If you love someone, set them free. If they come back, they're yours. Otherwise, they never was. If you love someone, set them free. They come back, they're yours. If not, they never was. Krishna is giving us our own independence. He set us free to act as we want. And when we go back to the Lord, then we show our sincerity, our true love is displayed. Otherwise, if we go out and we never come back, then there was no love in the first place. Bhakti requires paying a small price, right? Although bhakti is considered that you don't have to pay any price, because when the Lord comes, is so grand, is so great. Whatever little we do is nothing, is insignificant. All the yagyas, all the austerities you perform in your life is nothing compared to the price the price that you pay for what you get in return. It's like going to Gold Coast and buying a $10 million house and you're paying 1 cent for it. Not that you got it for free, you paid 1 cent. But it's so insignificant, it's like getting it for free. And that's bhakti. The Lord is bhavagrahi. Krishna is not interested primarily in external sweetness. He is bhavagrahi. He accepts devotion, the intention, the mood. Duryodhana offered royal arrangements with the finest preparations. Yet Krishna chose Vidura's home and accepted banana peels offered in love. The Lord reciprocates according to devotion. He is not partial. He responds to love, right? As Srila Prabhupada demonstrated in his final days, even when he stopped eating, devotees continued preparing foods and offering him, not because he needed food, but because love naturally expresses itself in service. Even when Prabhupada was not able to take prasadam, every day my Guru Maharaj will still cook for him, whether he takes or not, in hoping that Srila Prabhupada will take prasadam. That's his service. Whether it says over here, if you're not hungry, you won't take it, but still doesn't stop you from doing the service, right? King Nabi's humility. King Nabi possessed spotless character. He is Amog Leela, right? Yet despite all qualifications, he felt ashamed, right? It's in the beginning of this, in the first part of this verse, it shows the qualities, how great a grand devotee King Nabi is, right? But yet, despite all qualifications, he felt ashamed. He approached the Lord desiring a son equal to the Supreme Lord. For from one perspective, even this reflects material desire. He approached the Lord through Guru and according to proper process, right? Even when desires remain imperfect, one should approach the Lord perfectly through devotional service. So preparation to understand the Lord, I'll take another minute, is the first 9 cantos of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam prepares us for the 10th canto, right? So Vyasadeva does not reveal Krishna's intimate activities immediately. Preparation is required. Two qualifications must be developed. Proper philosophical understanding and spiritual purification. Krishna cannot be understood sentimentally. Krishna cannot be understood sentimentally. One must know him. One must know him, tattva, in truth. So one must know him, tattvataha, in truth. Krishna has unlimited appetite for bhakti. He is never satisfied with the sweetness of devotion. When we offer gifts to others, we often expect something in return. But service to Krishna should be free from expectations. Grand services alone do not attract the Lord. Grand temples do not benefit the Lord. He has no need, right? He has no need for everything. They benefit us. They purify us. After all the elaborate services, they did not celebrate their success. They simply wondered, have we actually pleased you? Only devotion, because without bhakti, all the zeros have no value. And even one drop of devotion, everything becomes infinitely valuable to the Lord. Right? Krishna does not emphasize opulence. He emphasizes bhakti. So to summarize this, he does not emphasize on opulence. That does not mean that we should not offer the greatest and the best and the most opulent thing for the Lord. But we must make sure that it's tinged with bhakti. But Krishna is not conquered by grandeur. Right? The simple resident of Raja approached without calculation, protocol, or awareness of his divinity. Right? The Vrijvasis know only that he is theirs, formally worship and please the Lord. Pure devotee captures him. Krishna tolerates reverence. He rejoices in spontaneous devotion. In summary, in total, in conclusion, Krishna tolerates reverence, but he rejoices in spontaneous devotion. So thank you all very much for tolerating me today. I'm sorry we've gone 3 minutes over. And I hope I said something that made some sense or some mood that went into our heart. When a speaker speaks, when I speak, or when a speaker speaks, it's more for me than for anyone else. I've researched this for many, many weeks. So for me, I've learned so much, and I realize again how little a devotee I am. And that is the beauty of Bhagavatam. It not only benefits everyone else, but most importantly, it benefits the speaker. So in that way, I needed this benefit. I needed this mercy, because it's not like I'm simply saying that. I'm sincerely speaking from the bottom of my heart. I know how little I've achieved, how if I've achieved anything at all. And only by the mercy of great Vaishnavas like you would someday will I be able to delve into the reality of spiritual life. So again, I ask you to forgive me if I've offended anyone. It is not my intention. I try to speak about all the points within this verse, and I try to speak within the context of this verse. So if anyone has any corrections, any contributions, any questions, it'll be our great honor to hear from you.
Hare Krishna, Janaka Prabhu, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mataji.
For such a wonderful class.
Thank you, Mataji.
I wish that I could apply all these things in my life.
Ditto,
I'm trying my best, but I don't. I was just thinking, Srila Prabhupada in one of his lecture about this verse, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toem 926.
Yes.
And he writes that, that actually Krishna doesn't need anything. In Brahma Samhita, we know that Krishna, it's written that verse, Lakshmi Sahasara Satsam Brahma Seva Manyam. So Krishna is served by thousands of Lakshmis. He doesn't need anything from us, but the thing is, it doesn't mean that he's saying he doesn't need anything, but he doesn't even need anything. But the thing is that we have to offer him. And the example he says that just like a rich father, and he doesn't like any help from his son. But if the son, after he's grown up and he's earning, and if he offers something to the father, he becomes very happy. So this is natural. So
Yes.
our connection with the Supreme Father is like that he's not in want. This is what Prabhupada says, I'm saying, not my words. He does not require anything from me, but it is for my interest. If I
Yes.
offer something, then I become a very pet son of my father. And this is called bhakti. So,
Yes.
so interesting, and we can put this into our practice. I have children, I have a son. My son doesn't live in Brisbane, he's in Sydney. And, whenever, he will call me and he said, Mom, do you need anything? And Dad, do you need anything? And I said, no, thank you very much. And so the thing is that what pleases you, that he is a devotee. And he knows that we don't need any material things. And he always says, please bless me. So the father is always pleased, but the son is son's duty to us. And this is what we are to Krishna, and we are his children. But at the same time, in this verse, Prabhupada mentioned, but the thing is that even a person is very poor, and these four things are written there. So we should always understand this verse, Partram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. This
Yes.
is for the poorest who can't offer anything to Krishna. And he said, you can even do that. And so many examples are given over there. So, yeah. And you can see when somebody sponsors a feast at the temple, we don't say Pattar Pushpam Phalam. We offer opulent items to Lord, Gaurnitaya. And after offering them, then we distribute prasadam to hundreds of people who come to these,
Yes.
festivals. And what it is, we are spreading Krishna consciousness through opulence of the food. And we have seen so many devotees.
Yes.
I've seen young students in Sydney when I was there. We used to have Sunday program, and they used to come because they left their home. There was nothing, they could not cook and anything. And they used to come and they ate prasadam. And by having, prasadam or earning prasadam, they become devotees. So I just wanted to just add this. Thank you very much again. And I still pray that Krishna gives me blessings of the devotees, that I can put some of the things into a practice in my life and be a devotee, at least not pure, but at least trying to be a devotee. Hare Krishna.
Just grab onto Srila Prabhupada's devotee and stick on there. That's all we need to do. What else to do?
I think I will do it to my spiritual master, because I can't go directly. We have to go through Nityananda. Otherwise, we are thieves. We
Yeah.
can't go to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu without Nityananda.
No, that's true. We have
Hare
to go through
Krishna.
spiritual master. That's for sure. And great, we are very lucky in a sense. See, we are second generation from Srila Prabhupada. And all the first generation, our spiritual masters, are Srila Prabhupada's eternal associates. Srila Prabhupada said that many times, that they were sent by his spiritual master. They were sent by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to serve him. And we have the opportunity of serving them. It's such a great honor. And then I remember, I think is, we spoke about the parrot. When the parrot takes the nectar and eats the fruit, or the fruit is sent down, as we get lower and lower and lower down, it becomes more and more nectarian and easily reachable for us as well. So our spiritual masters are great. So we must not underestimate the value of Diksha and Siksha gurus. And we'll be very careful as well, because sometimes when we're new, we say, he's my Siksha guru, he's my Siksha guru. Our Siksha guru is like, our disciplic line is not Diksha guru's disciplic line. You know that, right? Our Diksha line is not Diksha guru. Our Guru Parampara is Siksha guru line. Because Bhaktivinoda Thakur is not in our Diksha guru line. So, so Siksha guru is as or more important than Diksha guru. And we see that many times in our Shastra, how the Diksha guru, and sometimes, there are 5 different types of guru. The first guru is the Patha Pradakshava guru. The Patha Pradakshava guru can direct us. And the Patha Pradakshava guru we saw in Dhruva Maharaj was his mother, right? In Bilwa Mangal Thakur was a prostitute. So, Krishna can come in very, very various ways. Like the 26 gurus, one is a snake, one is a prostitute.
Yeah.
There's so
That's
many.
11th chapter, I think, if I am correct. It's
Yes,
in
you're right.
11 canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Those
Yes.
gurus. It's a
So
very,
many
very...
gurus are there. So
Yeah.
we can choose to take the best or the good things, or we can choose to take the bad. So even though, so that will expand or will show us the value of good direction and good consciousness while taking that direction as well.
But there is another thing, Prabhu,
Mhm.
sometimes somebody just like a mentor in Krishna consciousness.
Yes.
And people have got this tendency that if they bring somebody into Krishna conscious,
Yes.
they think they have become their Shiksha gurus. And on this particular point,
Yes.
my Guru Maharaj said once, he said that we should be very careful that
Yes.
who is your Shiksha guru. Because
Yes.
Shiksha guru is a very, very important and great responsibility. And anybody, if he has given you a Bhagavad Gita and to read, and of course he has come into Krishna consciousness, but then he can't just tell him that I am the Shiksha Guru. No.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to have a really qualification. I don't know whether in ISKCON there is some guidelines. I really don't know myself.
No,
That
there's
who
no. I
is
think I
actually
listened to a
Shiksha
class
Guru.
on that
Yeah,
recently.
yeah. Like as I said, I'm preaching and bringing so many people into Krishna consciousness, even your
Yes.
children or your friends and all that. I still don't feel that I'm a Shiksha Guru. I just say, I'm just like a, instrument in bringing that.
Yes.
And that's like a mentor. In India, they don't have so many Shiksha Gurus, but in Western world, everybody becomes a Shiksha Guru because they brought one person in their Bhakti Bhiksha group to
That's
become
true.
a, devotee.
And that is true. And it gets one further than that. So what happens sometimes, and this is a contamination that is quite prevalent, is we'll bring somebody and think we are the Siksha Guru, and we'll bring
Yeah.
them to become disciples of our Guru.
Yeah, that is the one thing which is,
Guru propagating. And I find that
that's
so
right.
cheap. Like your
Yes.
Guru is desperate for disciples.
That's true. Yeah.
Your Guru is desperate. In fact, I myself deter anyone from winning my Guru unless they're qualified. Because why? Why you do that? It's like
I
diminishing
know that's
the
a
glory
big
of the
subject,
Guru.
Prabhuji. We won't go into that. It's 8:43. It's 8:43. Thank you very much again for the class.
Thank
And
you so much,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna to all the devotees. Sorry, I took some time.
Oh, Mataji.
Yeah, Hare
No
Krishna.
Bhagavatam is complete without hearing your speech.
Hare Krishna. I have to speak.
Honestly, I speak from bottom of my heart. No Bhagavatam is complete without hearing from you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
you,
Thank you
Mataji.
very much for your mercy. Hare Krishna.
Your mercy, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Anybody else? I know. Okay. So on this junction, I offer my respectful obeisance to all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord who are just like the Zai tree, who can fulfill the desire of everyone and flow of compassion for the fallen conditioned soul. Shivancha kalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindhu bhyavacha
पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
Anand Koti Vaishnav Vrind ki jai.
So shall have a wonderful
Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam
day, the first day of the month. So hope you'll have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, a wonderful month, a wonderful spiritual life. And just one more big request, please send me your mercy. Hari Bol, everyone. Dhanavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Janak Raj Das.
Thank you,
Janak Raj
Prabhuji.
Das Prabhuji ki jai.
Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai. Go Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.